And then I was like, oh. At first, I was like, Martin, what titty streamer did you dono to? And they didn't reply. And then at last, I was like, oh, I get it, dude. Why didn't you just start with that? Speaking of BOOMER, speaking of Reach, Martin O'Donnell had some fun things to say on Twitter. Which, if you don't know who Martin O'Donnell is, he's the composer of, like, Destiny, Reach, probably almost every single Halo, ending at 4, I believe. He didn't do 4. Yeah, I don't think he did 4 and 5, though. I think it was I think like a Japanese guy took over from there. So he talks about some things that I kind of agree with, and I agree with what he says, his meaning, but I don't agree with how he went about it. Because, like, being the boomer he is, he doesn't understand how to, like, talk. He starts by saying that, streamers, Twitchers, who have their camera up on their screen while they're playing games are narcissists. Now, I get what he's saying, right? Like, sure. I mean, I understand, like, the analogy he makes later, right? Okay, so he's referring to people who play with their images on screen and never stop talking. And then he's like, okay, Genzers. I think he meant Gen Zers, but, like, that just looks like Genzers did, whatever. And I'm like, okay. Okay, so he's changing his story, like, every other paragraph, okay? What started off was, people who played games with their camera on screen are narcissists. Okay, that's kind of weird. That's kind of just that's just kind of ignorant of you to just spout out like that. All right, whatever. And then he moves on. Oh, I was actually talking about people who have their image on screen and never stop talking. Okay, now we're getting more into the story. Like, what is he talking about? Okay. All right. And then he makes an analogy. So if a talk show host has someone famous on their show and never stops talking and never allows the guest to say anything, might be entertaining, but perhaps a bit narcissistic. So, like, what I imagine he means by that is, like, you, the streamer, are the talk show host, right? Let's say you're Jimmy Fallon, okay? This is what I got from this, okay? You're Jimmy Fallon, all right? And your game is your guest that you're playing, right? That's the guest on your show. And imagine your guest starts trying to talk about, like, what they're doing, like, oh, okay, and then the host just interrupts and is like, so, today, guys, I left my coffee on top of my car. Haha, right? And talking over the guest, doesn't let him speak, and the guest is just sitting there like, I just want to, like, promote, you know, why am I here? I just want to talk, you know, promote my show or whatever I'm doing. So I get that. I get it. The people who, like, play games and then they just talk over every single spat of dialogue that is happening and, like, doesn't, you know, yeah. So then he ends with, okay, I love streamers and Twitchers. I was having a reaction to a streamer who was playing Reach for the first time, but kept talking during the dialogue and wondered aloud why he didn't know what was happening. And then I was like, oh. At first, I was like, Martin, what titty streamer did you dono to? And they didn't reply. And then at last, I was like, oh, I get it, dude. Why didn't you just start with that? Like, why didn't you write that first? And then continue. Like, I can imagine some dumb fuck streaming, right, for playing Halo Reach, dialogue's happening, he's just spouting bullshit, and then later on, he's like, what the fuck's happening? This game's such shit, I don't know what's going on. It's like, shut your fucking mouth, dog, and listen. Then you'll understand. So, I get it. And then Alana pierced it. Damn right. Damn, you're right. If you talk about playing games, you're not a real gamer. So true. Dude, did he just add this? Heart streamers. Today's update, I heart streamers. Damage control. Marty, you fucked up. You gotta redo. Post something. Have I been cancelled? Right. PR agent on call.